It's not just a car, it's your freedom.
So, a car in good shape?
Yeah, had it all checked out.
Gas station?
Nah, GM dealership. Figure those Goodwrench guys know what they're doing.
Good. So, any idea where you're going?
Not exactly. But I'll let you know when I get there.
I'll be waiting.
Mr. Goodwrench knows it's not just a car, it's your freedom.
Attention shredded wheat eaters, you've been missing something. Taste, but no more. Kellogg's Squares brings you that superlative shredded wheat nutrition with no salt, no fat, no cholesterol. But wait, Kellogg's Squares give you free in every bite. Taste. Sweet, delectable fruit in the middle. You might never eat plain old shredded wheat again. Kellogg's Squares. Shredded wheat with taste. Free in every bite. And speaking of taste, now Squares have 35% more raisin. Great taste. Free.
Next week on Quantum Leap, it's 1961.
Oh, boy.
Hi, Sam. Ow. I'm a dork.
Rock and roll yourself back to being a teenager.
The tail end of the most immature period in history.
Are you naked?
Food fight, food fight.
A blast to the past. We'll make history. Only history must be stopped
You're here to keep Cheryl from marrying Bob.
before history repeats itself.
Later tonight, Johnny's back with his guest, Night Court's Harry Anderson, on The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. And Friday night, it's a shaggy dog story told by a shaggy dog, a magical canine caper on the Jim Henson Hour. It may be NBC's finest hour, says the New York Post.
Nightside is next tonight. Police investigate the apparent murders of 2 patients at a local hospital, and cancer claims the life of the first celebrity transsexual.
We'll meet the futuristic artists who dream up the cars of the future. David Sheehan reviews Miss Firecracker.
And security cameras catch Michael Jackson in disguise, next on Nightside.
If you've lived here for any length of time, one thing you know for sure is where your Thrifty is. You also know you can trust Thrifty brand products. And you know you can trust Thrifty to save you money on those products. With sales like the bonus size sale. Thrifty Balsam and Protein Shampoo or Conditioner, bonus size, $1.99. And the bonus size Cocoa Butter Lotion, Aloe Vera Lotion, or Aloe Vera Cream, $1.99. And if any Thrifty brand product isn't all you think it ought to be, we'll give you the national brand.
My dad always told me, kick the tires when you buy a car and slam the tailgate when you buy a truck.
Good advice. Now, if you're looking for the best truck, find a Ford dealer, because the Ford Ranger is America's best-selling compact pickup. We've ordered thousands, all models, all colors. And with 2.9 financing or up to $750 cash back, they'll be moving fast. And that's a fact.
I'm convinced no other truck feels like a Ford Ranger.
You know, I want to eat right, but I don't know. I got a grilled chicken fillet from Jack in the Box. It looks so good that it must be bad. But it's grilled chicken breast. That's good. It's not fried. That would be bad. I'm gonna eat it. No, yes. I'm gonna eat. No, I'm gonna eat it, but I'm not gonna look.
Go ahead. It's good. The grilled chicken fillet at Jack in the Box. For exciting new taste, this is the place.
Tastes good. Is that bad? I don't know.
Metro traffic on Today in L.A. Mornings at 6 and 6:30.
John Beard. Kelly Lang. Fritz Coleman Weather. Fred Rogan, Sports. Jess Marlowe, Cover Story. And David Sheehan, Entertainment. Channel 4 News, Nightside, #1 in Southern California.
Good evening. Top story at the 11th hour. Police reveal that they are investigating what appears to be 2 patients murdered at St. John's Hospital in Santa Monica. The 2 patients died at St. John's last spring after routine surgery. The coroner was notified, autopsies were conducted, and the cause of death was found to be lethal overdoses of morphine. Police searched the hospital and interviewed the staff. They found no evidence of an error by the hospital, and all hospital morphine had been accounted for. Again, this was last May, The information is just coming out now because families of the victims have sued the hospital. Police say they have no suspects and they have no motives. And St. John's is not commenting yet on any of the allegations.
And Christine Jorgensen, the transsexual who scandalized America with a shocking sex change in the conservative 50s, has died in Southern California. Phil Schumer reports on her death and controversial life.
Christine Jorgensen had a successful career as an actress and nightclub performer, but 3 years ago, cancer caught up with her, and today took her life at the age of 62 in a San Clemente hospital.
She wants nobody to be modeling over her, and she was just a very lovely lady.
Smith says Jorgensen never wanted the notoriety that came from the operation that literally shocked the world. This film tells the story of George Jorgensen, the ex-GI, who at the age of 25 in 1952 traveled to Denmark and returned Christine Jorgensen, the world's first sex change.
And he loved fashion.
It was quite a surprise to Bobby Raymond. As a boyhood friend of then George Jorgensen, the two sometimes dated while living in the Bronx.
Oh, it was shocking to my family and to his friends. But his close friends and relatives accepted it.
In Jorgensen's own book on her life, she said she had no regrets about the change and was proud of it. Friend Costello said Jorgensen didn't dwell on the past.
When you met her for the first time, you were looking at just a woman. A very nice, classy woman.
So what is Christine Jorgensen's legacy? Well, she certainly didn't start an avalanche of sex change operations. They are still somewhat rare. But her friends say that Christine Jorgensen left us with this simple lesson. You should judge people for what they're made of on the inside, not what they look like on the outside. Phil Schuman, Channel 4 News.
Police in Fullerton pulled off a big drug raid today, and they found something they've never seen before. They seized 150 pounds of coke and discovered brazen professional packaging. The label says 100% pure cocaine, a product of the Republic of Colombia. They also seized weapons, cash, and they arrested 4 people. Kelly.
Tomorrow is D-Day for car insurance reform in California because tomorrow the state Supreme Court will rule on the constitutionality of Prop 103. Key provisions, a rollback of insurance rates to 20% below November 1987 levels, prohibition of redlining, election of a state insurance commissioner, and state regulation of all future rate increases. This ruling will be released at around 9:30 in the morning.
Some worrisome news today for teachers and parents and kids. Jess has details and cover story. Jess.
The federal government's report card on the state of education in the 50 states was released today, and the grade was barely passing. Mediocre and not improving were the two most damning words. And for California, a mixed message in the rankings. Among the states using SAT, Scholastic Aptitude Tests, to gauge how well students have learned, California ranks 4th. That's good. But in the rankings for the percentage of our high school students who stick around to graduate, California finished a deplorable 42nd among the states. And that's a jolt, especially following this week's educational euphoria in Los Angeles when Taft High School won the National Academic Decathlon. But there was little comfort for anyone in the message delivered today by Education Secretary Laurel Cavazos.
I regret that I have to report that this year our students' performance has been stagnant. We're standing still. And the problem is that it's been this way for 3 years in a row, and frankly, the situation scares me, and I hope it scares you too.
The scare comes from learning that 1 in 4 elementary school students has to be held back. In the nation's high schools, an average 3,600 students drop out every day. Only 71% ever graduate. Among major nations, U.S. students rank 8th in general science, below average in math. U.S. college entrance exam scores declined last year and are well below the scores of the turbulent 60s. These facts would suggest to some that we need to spend more on schools, but in fact, the U.S. outspends Japan and most other nations in the money provided for education.
Money alone is not the answer to our education deficit.
Among the factors cited for the U.S. showing is the demographic mix in this nation, and among those states having the poorest graduation record, especially California and Florida, the influx of refugees and others from poor third world nations is believed a factor. John, Kelly?
Okay, Jess, thanks very much. On the news tonight, the Securities and Exchange Commission may probe Mayor Tom Bradley's stock deals handled by indicted junk bond king Michael Milken. After testifying before a City Council committee today, City Attorney James Hahn revealed that he asked the SEC to review the mayor's stock transactions. Hahn is investigating allegations that the mayor used his influence to help a bank that was paying him.
It's premature to guess at what the outcome of this investigation will be, or even when it will be concluded.
Hahn said 4 deputy city attorneys and 2 L.A. police detectives will continue the investigation.
Coming up next, Fritz with the midweek weather. Also, we'll visit California's first cholesterol-free zone.
And we will visit the secret studios where they design the cars of the future. Also, David Sheehan reviews Holly Hunter's first movie since broadcast news.
But first, Fred Rogan is here. He has some news of his own. Fred.
All right, John, thanks very much. Out at the stadium tonight, folks, Pedro Guerrero was honored, and then he was injured. Angels in a nail-biter in Baltimore, and in Portland, a big night for the captain and a big game for the Lakers later on during the sports.
Coming up next on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, Night Court's Harry Anderson shows off his secret to winning at cards.
They're not noticing that because they're looking at my hand.
And opera diva Aprile Milo stops by for a chat with Johnny.
Not many Metropolitan Opera singers follow somebody who drops their pants.
Coming up next.
On a summer's evening in 1924, perhaps the most significant game in the history of baseball was played. What made the game truly historic was the time of day, nightfall. For on that night, a band of GE engineers ushered in the era of night baseball. Baseball under the lights, making possible for us all the many brilliant nights to come.
B.F. Goodrich TA tires perform like great athletic shoes. Grab. Dig. Because B.F. Goodrich TA tires are low and wide. B.F. Goodrich TA tires. Think of them as athletic shoes for your car.
There's some things you shouldn't start your day without.
This is Today in L.A. Good morning. It's 6 a.m. Things are warming up some. We're hitting
Good
60
company.
degrees this morning.
Now looking ahead to some things happening today in L.A.
The latest information.
We've got an increase in clouds, and that means, yes, a chance of rain again today. We're gonna
If your commute puts you onto the San Diego freeway, it's a real mess.
And Today in L.A.
That's our news. Thanks for watching.
The Today Show is up next.
At 6 and 6:30 on Channel 4.
New winning lotto numbers tonight, and here they are. 6, 7, 8, 15, 24, 35, and the bonus number is 48. The jackpot, $5.4 million. Good luck.
Okay. Brings us to Fritz, and we've been pretty lucky with the
Lovely,
weather, huh?
no change,
Yeah.
very little, maybe a degree or 2 increase in temperature tomorrow. We can't believe this happened in Northern California first, but it did. The first cholesterol-free zone is Sausalito, California, started by the pharmacist who started the Great American Smokeout. Here's a picture of it. Of course, USA Today, a cholesterol-free newspaper. Hey, it's also the first nuclear-free zone in America, now the cholesterol-free zone. This is a strange statistic, but 80% of the population are vegetarian, pacifist, environmentalists. So it's a pretty interesting place to live if that happens to be your bent. Here are the numbers at this hour, folks. A high of 79 and a low 60. That's a beautiful spot of the country. Here are the numbers. 68 now, barometer 29.91, it's steady. Humidity 73%. Southwest winds at 5 miles an hour. Look at the forecast map for tomorrow. Showers and thunder showers in the Mississippi, Ohio, and Tennessee valleys. Also light rain in the northern plains and northern Rockies. Clouds but no rain out west. Daytime highs tomorrow in the 50s and 60s from the northern Rockies to New England. 70 degrees from the mid-Atlantic states to the Pacific Northwest. 80s, 90s, and 100s from the desert southwest into Florida. For us, no change over the next couple of days. A good, strong ridge of high pressure has built into the western states. That means sunny weather, slightly warmer as the high gets stronger. Storms heading up into the coast of Oregon and Washington rather than California. Late night and early morning clouds and fog continue, and fairly dense at times. Our three-dimensional cloud cover, once again, dazzling the audience for no apparent reason. Now, let's look at the overnight lows, folks. We have about the same as last night in the valleys, low 50s. We don't have the overnight lows. All right. Well, can we press on and go to the forecast? Fair, late low clouds and fog, and that could be dense in some areas too, low 60. And sunny tomorrow in the afternoon with a high of 82. And for the following days, not much change, it looks like at this point. There will be haze, but there will be lots of sun for a beautiful weekend with a high of about 80. So not too bad.
Sounds perfect.
We need a cholesterol-free zone down there. An oat brand zone, I think, is we're going to be starting that soon.
Hey, right in Burbank.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Rich.
Sure.
All right, what kind of people dream up the cars of the year 2000? Ken Shocknick shows us those far-sighted artists at work as he wraps up his special report on future cars.
Where does the car of the year 2000 get such smooth and flowing lines? The answer is sitting out in your driveway today.
Most times the process isn't revolutionary, just evolutionary. Designers stealing the lines of a car that's already on the road and then moving on from there.
The next generation Supra, for example, is taking shape at a secret studio in Newport Beach. For variety, modelers work on two different styles at the same time, a left side and a right. Clay is big, crucial. That's one of the very first lessons design students learn. Like his classmates at Pasadena's Art Center College of Design, Bruce Berkey dreams of hitting it big. This day, he's working on an inexpensive recreational car.
It can be something you take to the beach on the weekend.
You have an evolution of curve.
I think what you've got here is help pull this element back and everything. It just helps to complete the form.
This is an indication of something that's really magic.
What happens with designers is they have to be visionary because there are no guidelines, no rules, no books that tell you what's going to be really appropriate in 5 years or 6 years or 8 years.
Sometimes buyers never get the chance to see what the car makers believe will be appropriate. This restyling of the MR2 will not show up in any showroom. It was California's best effort, but when technicians rolled it out for Toyota bosses in Japan, they preferred a different look from another team. If an entire car never hits the market, parts of it usually do. Fast as it is, this experimental FX V2 never will pass you on the freeway. But a car with a very similar engine will. The V8 tested in this car has been stuffed inside the soon-to-be-released Lexus luxury sedan, even though the rest of the car is completely different. Oldsmobile's developed an 800-horsepower Dragon Slayer from a small four-cylinder block. In this case, not even the whole engine will end up in a production car, but the technology behind it will. Engines, bodies, and interiors. Bruce Berkey's already thinking about all this for his all-new Berkey 2000. The car of the future is in his hands. He has mixed emotions about that.
I'd like to see something that I worked on in production, but then you see one with a big dent in it, and I don't really want to see that.
Ken Shocknick, Channel 4 News.
Oh, some of those are beauties.
They are extraordinary.
Okay, coming up, something shocking. We have actual security camera pictures of Michael Jackson shopping in disguise.
That's him on the right there. But first, it was Pedro Guerrero night at the stadium, but he wasn't celebrating. That'll show us coming up next.
The mood is gotten the moment your own. Abandon yourself to the feel. So comfortable, easy and calm. Embrace the feeling. Take comfort in cotton. Find cotton's true performance in Wamsutta Super Kale No Iron Sheets at Robinson's.
Just like your skin, your hair needs sensitive treatment. Almay shampoo is so sensitive to your needs, even the fragrance is hypoallergenic. Almay cleans your hair thoroughly without over-shampooing. Rinses away dulling residue. For beautiful, healthy-looking hair, be sensitive with Almay hypoallergenic shampoo and conditioner. Perhaps the most cared-for hair in the world.
When you rent a subcompact car for a 3-day weekend, you may think you're getting a good deal. But if they charge...
Extra for collision protection, extra for gas, and for excess mileage?
you may want to think again. But with the Hertz 3-day weekend package, you pay just one price, so you get collision protection, a full tank of gas, and unlimited mileage, all at no extra cost. The Hertz 3-day weekend package, just $89. No joke.
Arizona, heck, it's nothing but sand and loco weed.
There he is. There he is.
It's no place for young'uns, Emily.
Arizona? Sorry, ma'am. The lines are down again.
Telephone for you, ma'am.
Thank you.
They'll attack at sunup. We'd better save a bullet for ourselves.
Arizona. If you knew it, you'd do it.
It's never occurred to Nurse Barb Votel that each of these pills is perfectly consistent because of Honeywell control technology. But then if she had to think about it, we wouldn't be doing our job. Honeywell, helping you control your world.
All right, Fred, here we're talking about the playoff game. They struggled a little in the first half, and then they took it over.
Then they got it together. If the Lakers are going to make it 3 titles in a row, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has to play his best basketball of the season. Tonight he did, and that is the reason the Lakers beat Portland, but it was not easy, as John mentioned. First half, A.C. Green with a brick that the Blazers were able to flag down. They finally whipped it down to Terry Porter, who scored 24 of his 29 in the first half. The Lakers down by 3. Here is 42-year-old Kareem Abdul-Jabbar motoring past 39-year-old Caldwell Jones for the Jam, combined age 81 years. Lakers down by 5 at the half. Third period, Lakers caught fire. Magic Johnson went cross court to Byron Scott, who nailed 3 of his 25. That's where the Lakers finally took the lead for good, and that's when Kareem took over. Sorry, Rick Adelman, it's over. The captain hitting the big shots. The skyhook here for 2 of his 22. Lakers won at 116-108. They have not lost a first-round game since 1984.
Kareem had a big game, huh?
He had a great game, and hopefully he can continue that. He looked really good. He's really, I think, concentrating and ready for the playoffs.
We want to try and be very consistent and keep getting better and better game in and game out. And we really came out to, take care of business tonight. And that's what we did because we're trying to build ourselves for our 3rd championship.
Lakers will get the winner of Houston-Seattle next. Houston fought off elimination tonight, 126-107. Sonics lead that series 2-1. In Chicago, Michael Jordan was sweet, but not as sweet as the man in the seat. Sweetness, Walter Payton at the game, and he saw Michael Jordan put on quite a show. Bulls in white against Cleveland. First half, the pass to Jordan, who took a couple of steps and then hit the reverse layup around Brad Daugherty. Jordan on his way to 44 points. Later in the game, Jordan knocked the ball away. Look at these shoes, though. Something's got to be done with these shoes. Took it from Ron Harper in your face. Doug Collins with a Bruce Lee move. Ha! Bulls won at 101-94 to open a 2-1 lead in the series. Tonight at the stadium, first Pedro Guerrero was honored, then Pedro Guerrero was injured. Even though Pedro had been critical of the Dodgers, they still welcomed him back and honored him in ceremonies before the game. Then during the game, he was haunted by his inability to slide going into second. Ouch, Pedro jammed his ankle. That was that. Pedro was done for the night. He'll have x-rays in the morning. Bottom of the ninth, it's tied at 3. That's Rick Dempsey at the plate, pinch hitting for the Dodgers. Ken Daly on the hill for the Cardinals. He lashed one to right field to bring in the Dodgers' winning run, and the Dodgers beat St. Louis by a score of 4-3. Most questionable scoring decision of the night took place at Shea. Darryl Strawberry at the plate for the Mets sliced one to left. Cincinnati's Cal Daniel gave chase. Ball hit the wall, took a weird hop. Strawberry kept running. Daniel went to pick it up. He missed it. Then he fell over. Strawberry kept running. Relay throw to Barry Larkin. Look at this. He tried to get Strawberry 5 miles off the plate. They gave him a home run. No error, they said. Cincinnati won the game 6-4. Now, elsewhere, Atlanta and Montreal picked up wins, as did the Cubs and the Pirates. Last night, the Angel pen took a powder. Tonight, it was brilliant. Bert Blyleven and Rick Monteleone combined on a 7-hit shutout in Baltimore. And hey, you two in the blonde hair back there? Hands above the railing. This is a family show. Now an adventure with Jim Traber in the 5th. Traber drove one to right center field off Bert Blyleven. Traber trying to stretch this into a double and demonstrates his own unique way of sliding into second base. Traber was uninjured, although there was a large dent in the ground. Later in the inning, Bill Ripken at the plate. Ground ball to Johnny Ray. Traber now trying to score from third, and look out for the truck. Traber devastating Lance Parrish, but Lance held on for the out. Top of the ninth, no score. Jack Hall at the plate, and he launched Bob Malaki's first pitch deep into the right field seats. Angels added another to win it 2-0. Malaki did not expect Ray Howell to hit it out of the park. Rounding it out, Texas, Boston, and Cleveland picked up wins, as did Toronto, Milwaukee, and Seattle. In the NHL, Montreal shut out the Flyers 3-0 to even their series at a game apiece. And heavyweight boxer Mitch Blood Green in the hospital tonight with a stab wound in the thigh. Perhaps he ought to go back into the ring where it's safer.
Anything to say about that, what do you think?
I think he will.
Yeah, okay.
You're
Thanks,
bad, Fred. We didn't expect any of that. Okay, well, next to come, David Sheehan tells us whether or not Holly Hunter puts in a firecracker performance in her new movie. It's called Miss Firecracker.
Look at you. What are you, trying to look like a bareback rider, the Shula Traveling Carnival show?
You don't like it?
Hardly, honey, hardly.
If your bank shuts you out at 3 o'clock, or 4 o'clock, or even 5 o'clock, walk into Wells Fargo. Our doors are open 9 to 6 every weekday, Monday through Friday, longer than any other major bank in California. So if your bank can't keep up, switch your account to Wells Fargo. 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, 9 to 1 Saturday. Wells Fargo comes through again. B.F. Goodrich TA tires perform like great athletic shoes. Grab. Dig. Because B.F. Goodrich TA tires are low and wide. B.F. Goodrich TA tires. Think of them as athletic shoes for your car.
What do all these top brands have in common? They're all on sale this week at Alpha Beta. Brands you can trust from Procter & Gamble, like Duncan Hines Cake Mix, just 75 cents. Tide, only $5.89 for the giant family size. And there's Charmin, just $1.47 for this 6-roll pack. Take your pick from over 100 top names, all at bottom prices. Through this Sunday only at Alpha Beta.
If you've got a growing family, and your car is not growing with it, take a look at the new Tempo from Ford. This Tempo GLS is about $900 less than the Hyundai Sonata GLS. It's about $2,600 less than the Toyota Camry Deluxe. It's almost $4,500 less than the Honda Accord LXI. The Tempo is the perfect family car. Do you know what your family could do with $4,500? Think about it.
Right now at Carpeteria, save up to 1/3 off every DuPont certified Stain Master carpet during Decorating Dollar Days. Carpeteria, the biggest floor show in town.
If all goes as scheduled, the Space Shuttle Atlantis will blast off tomorrow morning. Technical problems scrubbed last week's launch. Everything seems to be going fine now, except for some concerns about the weather. You can see the launch live right here on Channel 4 at 10:48 a.m. our time.
All right, a gentleman's hour, huh? Now, it was wildlife education with a personal touch today in Newport Beach. While the kids learned what an owl looks and feels like, the grown-ups dedicated this area in Upper Newport Bay as an ecological reserve. The State Fish and Game Department plans to release injured owls and hawks in the reserve after they've been rehabilitated, and hopefully it will benefit the birds and the kids who come to see them. And how about this one? Rosie the duck laid her eggs near a busy street in downtown Chicago, and today they hatched. So the city put up a duck crossing sign in case she decided to lead her ducklings across the street to the nearby Chicago River. And the manager of a nearby building assigned a 24-hour guard to watch over the brood of ducks. And tonight, with all their help, they've made it. Yes, they've made it safely to the water and back. End of story.
All right. Now, last night we told you that Michael Jackson was shopping in Simi Valley in disguise and looked so strange that security guards were a little bit nervous. Well, tonight we have the actual security camera tape from the gift bazaar at the Sycamore Shopping Center. Man in the red jacket with the hat, the wig, the false mustache is Michael Jackson. Michael said he had to wear that disguise to avoid being mobbed by his fans, and the security guard said, okay, give us an autograph and you're out of here.
And I see he looks just like him.
Sure, and
you know, there's no question.
Oh, yeah, no question.
All right, and as soon as he got on his credit card, they'd know anyway, right? Finally tonight, Holly Hunter of broadcast news fame, remember, has a new movie out now. It is called Miss Firecracker, and our David Sheehan, who gets to have all the fun, has seen it, of course. That's his job. What do you think?
Well, she sizzles, but the picture, I'm afraid, fizzles, you know. And if this is Holly Hunter's answer to the question, how you going to follow up an Oscar-nominated debut like broadcast news, I'm afraid it's a very weak answer, because Miss Firecracker is a very weak film, despite Holly's very strong performance as a small-town southern gal looking for a big-town northern future.
Dead. Dead. Both dead.
Funny. It seems like people have been dying practically all my life. First, my mama passed when I was barely a year. Then after a time, my daddy couldn't stand me any longer, so he dropped dead. And then I got sent here to live with my Aunt Ronell, Uncle George, and their own 2 children, Elaine and Delmont. My cousin Delmont is wild.
And he makes her wild, too, when he gets back home from the mental hospital. Wild enough to fill her lungs with screams.